Are you ready to go deep? Welcome to the Whole Being Zone. Discussions on the day-to-day ways we strive to play big and be whole. Welcome to the Whole Being Zone. This is episode 123, and this is Wendy Reese, your host. Today's episode is brought to you by Audible.com, where your first story is free. You can choose from more than 180,000 audio titles to begin your 30-day free trial. So I would recommend, I realize I'm a little bit biased on this, but I'd recommend The Alchemy of Yoga, Living Yoga Off the Mat as your free book. You can check it out at audible.com, and the link is in the show notes. Without further ado, we're going to get started on today's episode, which is one of the kanchukas or limitations that we humans play with. And I've been paying attention to what a habit I have gotten into lately with this. So it's really front in my mind. And because it is now in my awareness, I'm noticing how frequent this is happening all around me. In people that I know and people I'm observing in online communities and the media, it's really fascinating. And I suspect that you will probably start to notice how it shows up in your life too. Kalaa, tattva, is the limitation of authority or efficacy. And this is when we separate from our source, from our purest energy, we start to believe that we are limited. And it can affect creativity, aptitude, the power that keeps us connected to our source. And I have found that it most frequently shows up in the words, I can't. I can't do it. Oh, I can't go. I can't help you. Sorry. I can't stand him. I can't handle this right now. I can't take any more of it. These are all forms that are part of this kalaa. And what I have found as I've dug in deeper, not only with myself, but also with clients and students, that most often behind this I can't is a sense of fear. And there's a multitude of reasons why we don't simply say no, or I don't want to, or I don't know how, or I don't think I know how, and I'm not sure how to figure it out. Almost all of it is fear. Fear of failing, succeeding, rejection, losing, raising the expectations, judgment, repeating past hurts. There's a lot of reasons why fear may come into the picture, but fear is paralyzing. It makes us vulnerable. And we often equate vulnerability with weakness because hardwired into us is a survival mechanism that as long as we belong to the tribe, we are safe. But if we are ostracized or separated for some reason from the tribe, we're not. So when you think about this fear, what does it take to move beyond this limitation of kalaa, of I can't? It takes courage. It takes faith. And it takes you getting to the point that you're not afraid of losing. There's so many people that I know that are in unhealthy relationships, unfulfilling relationships, and yet they're scared that if they leave, they won't ever be loved again, or they'll lose their social status, or they'll lose the financial security and material possessions that have accumulated within the relationship. So they choose being unfulfilled and miserable to keep that safety and security. There are people who stay in their jobs for similar reasons. There are people who choose unhealthy habits because the fear of not having that as a crutch is just too strong. And so in all of these cases, there's a hiding behind, I can't. And what's really interesting is the more that you hide behind this, the more resentment and the more deterioration of confidence happens. We have to find within us courage, the courage to listen to the longing of your soul. So when I say I can't do bakasana or crane pose because I have weak wrist, let's say, rather than looking at it and saying, okay, my wrists need to be strengthened. And if I do that, or if I find a different way to position my physics of my body, I might be able to do it. It may be not a full expression of it. Maybe I need to use some props, but there may be a way, if I'm willing to courageously look at this and say, what would happen if I did it? What would happen if I were able to succeed in this? And be willing to go there. It could be that my soul is longing for a more loving, supportive relationship or a more creative, purposeful job. And I have to find within me the courage to say, what if I take this step and maybe I am alone, or maybe I'm not making as much money? Would the happiness and the fulfillment that came as a result be significant enough to take that risk? For some people, it won't be. At least they think it won't be. It takes courage to explore the lessons from our past experiences. Hey, yeah, I got hurt and I'm scared to move forward now because I don't want to get hurt again. So what was happening? What were the lessons that presented in that experience? What was the transformation? How have I grown as a result? And what is still needing to heal in order for me to continue to grow? And as I do that, I can start to show up in the present and try to make the best choice possible in the present moment, not pulling the past and projecting it into the future. It takes courage to show up fully. It takes courage to say, I'm scared and I have no idea what will happen, but I am here now and willing to discover what's possible. It also takes faith. It takes faith to trust that maybe things won't turn out the way you hoped, but they always turn out brilliantly if you stay true to your soul's longing. And oftentimes, the way that our desire manifests is not exactly the way we expect it to. And in hindsight, and I realize hindsight's 20/20, but in hindsight, we look back and we say, man, I didn't expect it to turn out that way, but I sure am glad that it did. It takes faith to know that you know more and you have more ability and strength than you can presently imagine, because the longer you've been hiding behind "I can't," the more you've torn down and eroded that confidence. So that knowing that strength, that ability has always been within you, and it always will be there. It's a matter of, will you connect to it? And it takes faith that things just tend to work out in these serendipitous ways, that people show up at the right time, opportunities show up at the right time. You hear a song that you've heard 10,000 times before, and suddenly there's a line in it and it just jolts you awake. Or you're walking through somewhere and you see a magazine or a book or a newspaper laying on a table, and you look down and the information that is right there is exactly what you needed in that moment. Or a friend calls out of the blue and says, "Hey, I was thinking about you. I have this idea. What do you think?" It's amazing how it works in just the way it needs to work. And Bob Marley really, really said it best, that every little thing's going to be all right. We have to have the faith to believe that. So I want to challenge you guys to a 7-day challenge. I noticed recently we were driving and this can't habit had become so unconscious for me that I was going through the radio station, and where I live, we have a lot of real lack of good stations. Let's just put it that way. And I'm hitting scan, trying to find something that is enjoyable and pleasurable to me. And I just keep saying, "Ugh, I can't," and hit it again. "I can't." Every time I hear a song that just is not pleasant to me. And I realize how much I'm doing this. So I gave myself the same 7-day challenge, and it's really interesting. That is what this challenge is a result of, is I wanted to look at all of the different ways that we play with this can't, and each day we focus on one of those ways in really simple things that everybody can do if they're willing to do it. And it's a totally free challenge. So you can get it at wholebeinginc.com/I can, and that is one word, I can. Sign up today. Give it a try. See how your awareness shifts to empower you, to bring you more confidence, more courage, more faith that you can, you are able. And the world needs more of that now. Will you do it? So check it out. I want to hear how your experience is. And please bring a friend along. It's so much more fun when you have somebody that you can be accountable with. Infinite love and gratitude. Until next time, be whole.